So there are two concepts floating out there in the patriot community and that are brought on by the far left propagandist. Really, the fake news industrial complex, or you might call them the Center for Public Enlightenment. Either way, it's a huge psychological operation to destroy this country from within. So, number one, the militia. The militia is constitutionally authorized by our founding fathers. And let me give you a little background here. Nothing I say today is actually my opinion. It's all based in facts and hundreds of years of knowledge. If you're one of those fact-resistant individuals, you might want to seek a mental health professional. Because if something was written 200 years ago and it was plain English, and then 200 years later you're like, well, I don't know about that. That's you trying to twist the facts. That's you trying to set up a different value system. That's you trying to distort reality and distort the truth. And that's what you do at the Center for Public Enlightenment. So I want to keep this simple. If you go back and you look at Madison and Jefferson's notes from the Founding Fathers Constitutional Convention, I don't know, 200 years ago, you will see that the militia was a critical part of American life and a critical part of our constitutional republic. We're not a democracy, we're a constitutional republic. So therefore, if it wasn't for the militia, we would not be free right now, and our thirst for liberty would be denied. Liberty denied. And since we actually understood that back then, our liberty was granted, and we earned it. Just like we're going to have to earn it again, because so many of you haven't paid attention over the last 20 or 30 years. Now, on the left and right thing, there's a lot of good patriots out there who don't understand this simple concept, and they get caught up in the jargon. And where did this jargon come from? It was a concoction from the fake news industrial complex to demonize people on the right. Now, it's obvious that the people on the left, those are anti-American. But how did we get here? Well, it's kind of, again, pretty simple. They actually said, oh, we're going to start demonize the right. And then they went with this whole left-right dogma thing, and it's absolutely ridiculous. But it's really about values. And this country was founded on the right. Center right. Now, what does that mean? A lot of people don't understand what that means. Excuse me. They don't understand what that means. Now, how I told you that this is not my opinion, I'm going to read you an excerpt from a book from a constitutional scholar from 1984, the year I graduated high school. How convenient. And this book should actually be mandatory reading for every single person who graduates a public school or any school. If you don't have this book in your reading list, I don't know how you could possibly know what you're talking about. The founders' political system, or the political spectrum. Part of the genius of the founding fathers was their political spectrum or political frame of reference. Hold that, political frame of reference. It was a yardstick. Oh my God, so simple. For measuring political power and a political system of government. Oh my God, that's easy, right? A yardstick, 1 through 12, done, easy. All right, let's explore this a little bit more. They had a much better political yardstick than the one that we generally use today. If the founding father would have used the modern yardstick of communists on the left and fascism on the right, total BS, they would have never found the balanced center that they were seeking, and they would have never formed this constitutional republic. Now, let's get into the meats and potatoes of this, and we're going to keep it simple because this is a concept my 14-year-old daughter understands quite well. And again, she's smarter than the average bear and obviously smarter than a lot of people out there. Go figure. So, political stick. 1 through 12. Let's look at it this way. 1 would be anarchy. No government, nothing. 12 would be full-blown communism, totalitarianism. I control everything you do every day. The balanced center would be right there at that 5 or 6. And every time you move that scale to the left versus the right, when you go to the right, you're giving people power back. When you move to the left, you're taking away liberty, and liberty denied. And we don't like our liberty being denied, now do we? Because we're Americans, and we fought for liberty not to be denied. Thank you very much. So if you look at this yardstick, right, the left and the right, it doesn't matter what letter you have next to you, because it's all a smokescreen of deceit. And it's so easy. They are manipulating you on a daily basis, and you fall for it. Oh my God. Every day I see this. You fall for it. It's ridiculous. Remember the political yardstick. Remember the spectrum. 1, 12. Doesn't matter. Look at this right here. It says, the founding fathers did not want political parties because they were worried they would end up competing rather than promoting the greater good in our constitutional republic. And that's exactly what happens. Those who say you're Republicans and conservatives, but yet you support the higher levels of the yardstick, you're not. And fascism is actually on the left. Communism is on the left. Nazism is on the left. All you got to do is look at that spectrum. How much control did the Nazis exert? How much did the Imperial Japanese exert? How much have the Democratic Party, Socialist Party, I digress, exert? It's simple. Look at the scale, 1 through 12. Now, there's a lot of people out here who want to talk about this, but I'll tell you what, this was written by a constitutional scholar based on information from 200 years ago. Duh, 1984, and yet it reads like it was written in 2020. Stop embarrassing yourself. Stop saying things like far right, because far right would be anarchy, according to the real political spectrum of the men who founded this great republic. The Constitution that you say means everything to you is just a piece of paper if you're not willing to defend it. It's that simple. All these anarchists out there, they're not on the right. Think about that. Antifa's not on the right. Antifa doesn't know the first thing about fascism. Our grandfathers fought fascism. Their grandfathers probably fought fascism. They have no idea what they're doing out there. They're a bunch of manipulated little brats, spoiled and fed a line of indoctrination over a period of time. It's that simple. So, do yourself a favor. Educate yourself. Go out and get The 5,000-Year Leap, a miracle that changed the world. And go read the 28 Principles of Freedom. And then you'll understand what it really means to be left and to be right, because it's about values. A constitutional conservative is on the right because they value limited government, and they value conserving our tradition and our values. I hope that makes sense for you guys. but it's really, really, really simple. It's so simple, a caveman can do it. Or a 14-year-old. Would you like her to record the next video? Because I'm sure I can get her to explain it to you. You have yourself a wonderful day. Go forth and educate the masses and stop falling into the trap. The left, the true left, the anti-American insurgents who are destroying our great nation through their actions. You're either with them or you're against them. Simple as that, right? Those who pervert liberty versus those who espouse the cause of liberty. And again, we don't like liberty being denied. And you can't twist our system to actually make it fit your needs and your values, because it's simple, it's hard-coded into the DNA of every true American patriot. Out.